Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Andrzark and this is Everquest 2. Today we're going to do something new. We're going to do a top 10 of everything you need to know about playing Reign of Shadows on Everquest 2. The main thing you're going to want to focus on and get done first is the storyline. The storyline is going to let you fly, it's going to let you access all of the storyline zones, and it's going to unlock prestige. Each armor piece you get is going to have a certain amount of resolve on it. You want to get the highest amount of resolve, but it's not really the main thing you want to look at. You want to look at certain stats as well, but resolve is going to allow you to do damage to enemies and be in certain dungeons. Certain dungeons will completely negate all of the damage or healing you do if your resolve is too low. Also, in raids, you need a much higher resolve to actually participate in the raid. There's three stats that you really want to focus on, and those are Fervor, Crit Bonus, and Potency. Fervor, being the best, will increase all of your abilities by a percentage after they've been calculated. Crit Bonus, being the second best, will do more damage than Potency per point, and Potency increases all of your abilities by a percentage. While it's not necessarily important to max out every skill, you want to max out some specific ones like Ability Double Cast. Ability Double Cast does exactly what it says it does. It casts the ability or spell or skill twice. This goes for all classes, and even though it shows Spell Double Cast, it replaces Spell Double Cast for casters. Hate Mod is important for all classes. For a DPS or a healer, you want it as low as possible. For a tank, you want it as high as possible, but there are certain times when you would want to lower your hate gain by a percentage. These times are when it takes 2 tanks to fight in a dungeon, but you don't always want to be generating as much hate as you can. When we're looking at crit chance and crit bonus, crit chance increases the ability that you will crit. Now, after you have over 100%, you will crit all the time. Now, your crit chance will make it so that you either do a legendary, fable, or mythical crit. Now, crit bonus is something completely different. Crit bonus is the amount of damage extra you will do on a crit when you crit. Crit bonus is important for all classes, whether you're a DPS, a tank, or a healer. You'll see that the taunt, heal, spell, and melee critical are all controlled by crit bonus. Ability Mod adds the number that you see here to your stats, up to 50% of their max in PvE situations. So I have 3.4 million Ability Mod. What this is going to do is that when I cast an ability, it's going to add 3.4 million to any number that it shows on that ability. Reforging, while not as good as it used to be, can be used to change certain stats that you don't particularly need into other ones. The 3 stats that you can upgrade are Ability Mod, Crit Bonus, and Potency. If you're a DPS, the most important stat you will want to go for is Crit Bonus, because you will get more damage per point of Crit Bonus than you will per point of Potency. Even though Potency usually has more numbers, you want to go for Crit Bonus for the damage. After you're done putting points in your prestige line, you're going to want to go over to the class-specific prestige line. The 3 main things you're going to focus on this one is Enhanced Vigor, Body and Mind, and either Power Through Pain or Ready Up. These skills are going to give you the most bang for your buck, as well as there are other honorable mentions like Expert Understanding, which gives you Ability Doublecast. Each one of these new prestige abilities gives a certain flavor to the fight. Power Through the Pain gives you crit bonus for the entire group. Ready Up clears the reuse on most modifiable profession arts. Speaking of the achievements, you can get a lot of adornments to go on your armor that will increase the efficiency and the effectiveness of your character. One of the main ones you can find while doing the achievements is these 299.8 Potency adornments that go on the finger, the neck, the wrists, and the charm. Once you complete all of the heroic dungeons, you'll receive a special red adornment that will give you 60 Fervor. You can find that starting armor by going to Tishan's lockbox, the Lunar Traveler's gear, and looking at the gear that's in here. You'll find that it doesn't show what adornments are on it, but I would suggest just getting every piece and pulling the adornments off like so. If you get a piece, you take that piece here and you use Reclaim Adornments ability on it, and that will give you the adornments that are on that piece. You can find other red adornments by crafting, solos, heroics, and raids. When it comes to blue adorns, the best ones you can look for are the Embers of War, the Fires of Mystery, and the Reignited Insights, or their counterparts that are above or below them. One of the best things you can look for is Fervor. Fervor is going to do the most for your character regardless of what type of character you play. As you can see here, Reignited Insight gives you a while equipped bonus of 48. The Fires of Mystery gives you an 80 Fervor, and the Embers of War gives you a 35 Fervor. The blue adorns can go on all types of weapons that are primary, secondary, and ranged. Let's look into what Fervor actually does. Fervor on the tooltip says your abilities will increase by 279%, or whatever your percentage is, after all other modifiers have been applied. What this means is that all of these other abilities will be calculated from their base values to their multipliers, and then Fervor multiplies all of that by the percentage that you have on here. One of the easily farmable options for getting blue adorns is to talk with Jaina Billowmix in the Mercs library. You're going to want to get the Celestial Rune of Embers and the Celestial Rune of Greater Mysteries. Each of these can be gotten by getting 150 Archivist Solidus apiece, 12 million and 20 million status, and 50,000 and 25,000 platinum, which might seem like a lot of platinum, but in this expansion, platinum flows like water. You can get the gold coins, the Archivist Solidus, by doing weeklies in the Mercs library. White adornments come in a few different categories. Now, if you're used to the old crafting system with adornments, you might be confused by the new ones. Shadow Scream is actually the middle tier. Now, if we go look for the Acrylia ones, this is your standard handcrafted. And you're going to have Void Etched, which is going to be your raid level, limited use crafting. White adorns are pretty much the lifeblood of your character. You're going to want to focus on three main categories. You've got your Potency and your Health adorns. Now, if you look at this, they may seem like it's kind of random, but when you look at the character selection screen, you'll notice that on the left here, we have Potency. All of the things on the left pretty much use Potency. When you look on the right, almost all of these have the Health. So you want to focus on that when you're looking into doing your white adorns. Basically, your left side is going to be mostly Potency, and your right side is going to be mostly Health, and with variations on the top and the bottom. With the middle ones, you want to focus on ability double cast, which you can put on your shoulders, hands, neck, and accolade on your mercenary, which is a really good way to have them casting a lot of double casts for you. The other one you want to look at is accuracy. Accuracy can go on the heads, hands, and cloak. Now, you're not going to want to do the hands because we're going to go to our next grouping, and that's going to be your aggressiveness and your fading. Now, if you look at the taunt rune, as we call it, the aggressiveness rune, it's going to up your hate gain by 44.5, with the void etch being even better than this one, and you'll get that one during the raids. Now, your fading one is one that your DPS and even your tanks that are not wanting to get a whole lot of aggro at the time are going to want to wear during a fight. Another honorable mention is the nails. Now, the nails add certain things to the game that were not possible beforehand, and it's mostly because of these two right here. Harvesting will give you harvesting skill on each piece, and Acrylian Nail of Harvests with an S is going to give you Bountiful Harvest. Now what that does is that Bountiful Harvest, if we scroll all the way down here, will give you a percentage chance to double harvest. It's kind of like ability double cast, but for harvest. You want that as close to 100% as you can. Now to facilitate that, you can get gear on your harvesting set like I have here, and you can see how my stats have jumped almost to 91%. Now with my harvesting familiar, which the best one to upgrade and get is the one that you get for a quest, and it's called the Mischievous Beastie. The reason is because this one adds 10 bonus contribution points to public research missions, which we'll talk about later. But you can also get this one from a quest, the Pierwood Yagaglu, whatever. And this one does the same stuff, but I have this one personally upgraded one more than the other one. So I use this one and use the Mischievous Beastie for turn-ins. There are 4 must-have waste red adornments for this expansion. One of them is Adamant Defiance, another one of them is Blinding Gleam, another one is Adamant Resolve, and the last one is going to be Astral Dominion. Now what these do is protect you from certain kinds of spells. Astral Dominion being Mesmerization, Adamant Resolve being Stifle, Blinding Gleam being Fear, and Adamant Defiance being Stun. Now, the Shadow Knight and the Paladin classes do not have to worry about Blinding Gleam because we have the ability of Fearless Morale, which protects us automatically from fear. Besides some unique housing deeds and some pink armor, you can get some really cool stuff from the Panda quest here in the Sundered Frontier. One of those things being the Cyan Adornments, which are tiered by the amount of quests you complete for the Panda, going up to 512 potency for one-handed and two-handed, and also secondary and ranged items. You can get these Cyan Adornments, and they are the best in the game, and they're the ones you definitely want to get. There's a lot of things you can get from this merchant, and a notable item is the red adorns that you can get from this character that upgrades your Ascension abilities. You can also get this really cool mount at the end here. To do the Panda quest, you're going to want to talk to Yun-Zi here. Yun-Zi is going to send you on a lot of quests that have you running around the entirety of Norath and discovering things. If you're a member, it's really easy because you can run places and quickly teleport where you need to go. Everquest has gone through a lot of changes with its crafting system. Most noticeably, weaponsmiths now make arrows. Crafted items are now in 3 tiers: Acrylia, Shadow Scream, and Void Etched. Shadow Scream is going to be down much farther than you're used to on your recipe book list. It also accounts for Shadow Scream horse items, Shadow Scream Adornments, and Shadow Scream crafted items. Now all the way up here at the top you're going to find the Acrylia, which are going to be your handcrafted, Shadow Scream being the master crafted of the olden days. Acrylia are for almost everything you can imagine. You have to do the quest line to get the Acrylia, but you do not have to do the quest line to get Shadow Scream books. While you can usually get your Epic 2.0 abilities organically as you play, sometimes you might just miss them. So you can come to Mercs and talk to the Sage out in the main area, and you can get the 2 Epic 2.0 abilities. In Sanctus Zero, at the very top of the map, you're going to find a room that has the crafting people for this expansion. Baluba, assistant to the curator, is going to have awakened abilities. This will give you the ability to upgrade your Epic 2.0 spells. Once you finish the main crafting storyline, you'll be able to purchase the Acrylia Adorners Primer Volumes 1 through 3 and the Acrylia Barding's recipes from this merchant here. But you won't want to, and I'll show you why. You can get all of those books from your guild recipe salesman for only gold. You can get all of the adorning ones, all of the horse item ones, and all of your crafting one for only gold. Based on your resolve level, you can get a crown receptacle of varying tiers for 87 bazaar tokens, and some status in platinum. These receptacles will give you a lot of interesting things, but one of the most important ones is the Twisted Rod of Balanzite, which you can make celestial weapons with. One of the things you might not know about is the Deity Ability menu. If you go to the Everquest 2 menu and go to Deity, you can get this window that will pop up, and you will be able to get different abilities that are different than the ones that you may have pledged to your god to get, but these ones are available to everyone. Each class and set of skills has its own flavor to it. Geomancer has a more defensive mindset, Elementalist has a more damage mindset with elemental damage, Etherealist has arcane damage with a power feed option, Thaumaturge just does damage with disease and poison, but it also has a lot of utility, like this spell that reduces the target's health to 1 when it's below 3% health. So now that we've shown you why Ascension Abilities are so great to get, we're going to show you how to get them. To get your Ascension Abilities, you're going to need to go to the Obelisk Frontier. To start, go to the Jarsath Wastes and use the Druid Portal to get there. Next, you're going to want to take the cave to the Jarsath Wastes. It's right up here. To go Elementalist, you're going to want to find Lady Najina, and that is going to be right here. For Thaumaturge, you're going to want to find Chusooth. Chusooth is in the cave here at Crusader's Cave. For Etherealist, you're going to want to see Miragold here, and he is right here at the end of this platform. For Geomancer, you want to look for Arnold Tolren, and this is going to be in the middle of Nysalona. Chusooth and the Geomancer trainer in Nysalona may be hostile, so you may have to do the quest line to activate them. Mercenaries are a staple of solo gameplay. You're going to want to find a mercenary that complements you and use that one. Mercenaries can be found around the world in any bar that's in a major city. To select and upgrade your mercenary, you're going to want to find the mercenary tab on the C menu. Then select the mercenary you want to get and go to this blue tab here. That will give you the armor that you can put on your mercenary. When you level up your mercenary, That will give you more armor slots, and the number on the armor slot is the one that you need to go for to be able to equip that item. Accolades are a mercenary item that basically allows them to equip another piece of armor per slot. Mercenaries over level 5 will give you a buff based on how many mercenaries you have over that level. The Mercenary Battalion ability is one that gives you Fervor for each rank 5, 10, 15, or 20 mercenary that you have of the same rank. As you can see, the mounts work just like the mercenaries, and there are barding slots instead of accolade slots. For casters, DPS, and healers, you want to have as many potency bardings as you can. For tanks, you want health. As a tank, you want to take the health barding instead of the bolstering barding, as it gives you more health for the same tier. Overseer missions can be accessed from the Overseer section of the menu. When you go in here, you're going to see your level here at the bottom. Once you get to about level 13, that's when you're going to start getting the really good items. Until then, just keep chipping away at it and get to Season 2. There's only 2 seasons so far. The tiers for Overseer quests are green for Ethereal, purple for Mythic, yellow for Legendary, and blue for Treasured. Sometimes you'll get a Mishap quest that's based on this percent here. You'll find the Mishap character at the very bottom. There's going to be a box here on the left side, and the quest will show up red. You just need to drag that character over to the Mishap box and then apply your characters as normal to the quest. When applying agents to a mission, you'll want to match the pictures with the green side and make sure that you don't match the pictures on the right side. If you use one on the right side, it's going to up your mishap chance. So you want to keep those characters off. Sometimes agents have 2 abilities, and they might have 1 good ability and then 1 bad ability. So you want to keep that in mind. If you don't have an agent with the proper ability, you can just add a normal one that doesn't have any abilities into the rest of the slots. Sometimes agents will have 2 abilities that work on the green side. These ones will be great for the quest and up your bonus chance by a large percentage. You can only do 10 non-charge quests in a day. If you have any charge quests, you can do those for as many charges as are available. Familiars do more than just look neat. Familiars can have a big impact on your gameplay. If you splotch my stats here, when I take the familiar off, you can see that I drop a significant amount of health. When I apply it back on, I jump back up. You can also make your familiar look like anything you want, and you have lots and lots to choose from, but there are some rather good ones that you'll want to get. Shadeweaver Ant is the one that I use for the current content. Familiars do more than just look neat. Familiars can have a big impact on your gameplay. If you splotch my stats here, when I take the familiar off, you can see that I drop a significant amount of health. When I apply it back on, I jump back up. You can also make your familiar look like anything you want, and you have lots and lots to choose from, but there are some rather good ones that you'll want to get. Shadeweaver Ant is the one that I use for the current content. After you've completed the quest, you will get a familiar cage. The familiar cage can be opened to get a familiar. If you already have the familiar, you can right click on the familiar and consume it to upgrade the level on your current familiar. There are a few pay-to-win aspects of this game, like buying mounts or familiars, but the Cobalt crates are by far the best one that you can get. If you are a member, you will get 500 points every month, and you can get a Cobalt crate with that money. You can also spend real-world money to get items out of the Cobalt crate that were covered earlier. Mission quests are some of the most important quests that you can do at the in-game ROS. These quests are the most critical part to getting upgrades and gear in Reign of Shadows. When you're doing mission quests, make sure you click Choose All the Places. Mission quests do not fill up your mission bank at all. So you can just take all of the quests and not worry about filling up your quest guide. If you enjoyed this video at any time, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know if I missed anything down in the comments. Thanks. And that about wraps it up for the 10 things that you need to know about Reign of Shadows on EverQuest 2. I'll catch you next time. Peace.